All right. Have you been we talked about these last few shows, but have you been following any more of the Valkyries international players? I'm in our Discord. I'm seeing a lot of Juste. I guess she played a game against Carla not the other day, right?
And
Against
then I
Carla's
think
team.
she played against Janelle yesterday.
Yeah. So I from our consultant or the person who's on the watch, Costa, who is in our Discord, has said that he saw Juste play maybe the best game. I'll actually get the quote because he wrote it in the Valkyries channel. He said, Juste getting star minutes now, it seems. And this was in the Janelle game. And he just said it was the first game where Juste looked like a star level player. She was the best player on either team in crunch time. Obviously, needs to do more. Needs to do it more often, but she's very young. So I hope Costa doesn't mind us. He did not say post this on the podcast, so I hope he doesn't mind. But I love reading his stuff because he's obviously watching the games and he's as invested as we are in the success of Juste Jocyte.
Yeah, he's watching more than I am.
Yeah.
I felt the basketball fatigue of not like I want to watch, but I'm just like, these games keep stacking up. I'm behind on Warriors games. I got to watch Juste's team. I got to watch college. It's like, shout out to the Athletics women's basketball pod because there's no off season, man.
There is no off season. So the other stuff about Valkyries players. So it's kind of cool because have you seen their Twitter channel where they're showing like where they're playing internationally and then where they're playing for Unrivaled? They have like little graphics and stuff. So that's pretty cool that you can kind of follow a little bit through the Valkyries Twitter channel. And
Kate's on Paige's team. I think she's on that new Breeze FC.
Okay. Do you think this was purposeful that for the Breeze team, Kate, Cameron, and Paige all on the same team?
Kate, Cameron.
I thought that was they showed the graphic and I was like, wait a second here. Also Dominique Malong and Rakea Jackson and Ari McDonald. So if they can get some scoring, if Paige dominates, they will probably be a pretty good team. On the Hive, Monique Billings is playing for the Hive. She's playing with Kelsey Mitchell, Easy Magbagor, Natasha Heidemann, Sanaya Rivers, and Sonia Citron. It's actually cool to see some of these younger players who you were talking about a couple of years ago in college and stuff who are now playing pro and now they're playing Unrivaled. It's cool to see kind of the follow through from college to now. Let's see who else or what other Valkyries players are on.
Veronica's on the Mist, I think.
Veronica, Brianna Stewart, Alana Smith, Alicia Gray.
That's going to be a really good team.
Enrique, and then who's the I can't pronounce his name. Lee Yuru. Lee.
Yeah, you pronounced it right the first time.
Okay. And then I think that's it for Valks players. But
Leticia Mihir, she is injured reserved player.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I did look at the merch, hoping that we were going to get some better merch this time. And they do have jerseys. I'm looking for hats. I will take a nice hat that is not a dad hat. So they do actually have snapbacks this year. So I may have to pick me up a snapback for one of the teams. I'm not sure yet. I got to figure out who's going to be my team. But
it's tough to pledge allegiance to a roster because last year I decided to pick the Lunar Owls, and then the Valkyries expansion draft happened, and then they signed some players in the offseason, and it was like, okay, so now we have two Valkyries on the Laces with Kate and Tiffany Hayes. So then I started following the Laces, and then now two clubs were added. You have an expansion draft where you only get to keep two players. And now Kate's we have no Valkyries in the Laces now. Like I'm trying to, and I guess that's the point of a team, right? Like you follow them regardless of the player. But yeah, I wanted to. There's just so much movement. Like there's too much player movement for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna put my stake into this team.
The
Yeah.
coolest logo though, like if I wasn't going to pick a hat from one of the players of the Valkyrie, the team that the Valkyries are on, to me the coolest hat is the vinyl. That might be my pick is having the vinyl on a hat. I might have to do that. All right, so we have to talk about this new league called Project B.
That's why as I brought it up last time.
And there's a brand new article by Sabrina and Mike Vorkunov in The Athletic about Nneka Ogwumike is the first player publicly attached to the league. Alana Beard said that there are other players signed too. They have multiple current all NBA players, so we can kind of like there's only 15 all NBA WNBA players, right? Or is there only 10? Do they have
There's
3
only
teams
10.
or 2 teams? Okay, so
2 teams.
there's only 10 players on the all WNBA team, so you can kind of like
Who's
start
not
guessing.
in Unrivaled.
Right.
Like Sabrina is not playing Unrivaled this year.
Okay, what about the MVP of the season?
Asia, Caitlin, yeah.
So, I feel like if they would have got Caitlin, though, she would have been announced first. And so the idea is okay, so here's another clue. Multiple current all WNBA players who have received those honors, young superstars who are on the rise, and players from 4 different continents. So they're going very international about with these choices. And something that we learned in just kind of covering the WNBA and the draft from last year is there's lots of talent that just do not make rosters because of how hard it is to make a team when you have such few roster spots. Now that will open up a little bit next year. And hopefully with the CBA, they will have more actual roster spots. So you don't have to, go into games with like only 9 healthy players and such.
Mm-hmm.
But there is talent. And if as you think about how, as the women's game keeps growing and growing and growing, there will be more talent that will be available. And maybe Project B does become something. I don't imagine there's going to be many unrivaled players, if any, who aren't also on WNBA rosters because those unrivaled rosters are so much smaller. So there's probably going to be a 1-to-1 ratio there of unrivaled players being WNBA players. But I do wonder if there are going to be some Project B players who aren't good enough to make the WNBA, but they get on tape in Project B and then they play in the WNBA because the leagues play at opposite times of the year.
Yeah. I mean, I just wonder what this does for negotiations. Does it help or hurt for the current CBA?
So the way I look at it,
like the Unrivaled case where it's like we could be the, we can be the next WNBA if you get, which I know we don't really believe like that, but just a little bit of leverage. And then Project B is like, nope, we're going to start taking some players over here.
So the way that I'd look at it is I think Project B, we have to know more about how many games they plan to play. I think, what did they say? They were only starting out with 6 teams or something like that. Like it's a small amount of teams. And, you're going to have bigger rosters because it is full court, 5-on-5, unlike Unrivaled. And if I'm the WNBA, I may go to Unrivaled and go, look, like we would prefer the players come here because the court is smaller. You're not playing all that often. Your body should not get beat up, and we support this league. I don't know if you want to go and say this other league that is international that you would not really have. Not saying that they have control over Unrivaled, because I don't think they do, but you would you don't know what Project B could be dealing with international. that is another sort of wrinkle to it. We know how historically there have been some incidents with some players internationally. So, you would hope that it's on the up and up, but you don't know for sure. And then what kind of money goes into that league?
I think there's some very rich people backing it, like more
If
rich than
there's
any of the people
Yeah,
backing
and will
WNBA or Unrivaled.
Saudi Arabia be invested into that league, which kind of
Has
changes the
that been
game?
confirmed? Because I feel like everyone on Twitter is saying it.
I don't know actually. I think that was the thought that that's how they're getting the startup money was
Yeah.
through Saudi Arabia. So if I'm the league, I kind of look at Unrivaled and go, okay, we'd rather our top players stay here. But if Project B gets started and they're offering, you know, $3 million a year for just a winter season, some of these players are like, I only have to do this for like a few years and I can pocket this money. So that's interesting. Now, as far as the leverage, I think Project B existing is actually good for all of basketball because what it does is if there is something to this league, the players, it gives them more leverage because there's more opportunity. Now, I'm not saying that somebody like Asia Wilson is going to go, you know what? I don't need to play in the WNBA because this league is paying me 5x more. I don't think that happens, but the leverage of that happening could be good, could be a good thing for the players so that the WNBA just gets their stuff together, man. Like they need to, when we've talked about this, and I don't feel like I'm speaking out of turn because I've heard people who've been following this league say this for a very long time, but they need to take advantage of this period of time of where the growth is so huge. And we cannot hear anything about, oh, the structure and the ecosystem. Like we're just not ready. Like that's yesterday. Like you need to move and you need to move fast and you need to be able to support the growth and you need to be able to support Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark's popularity and Angel Reese's popularity. And you need to be able to support all of those things and use it to raise your league up in a way that they have not yet been able to do so. They're signing contracts to get more television money. So they're doing that on that side. And now let's sign this CBA to where the players think that they're getting a fair shake and that you're growing with this thing together. Because that's what you want out of a CBA. You want the league and the players union to feel like they are growing together at the same time. And if there's this Project B thing that's kind of hanging out there and they have investment and they have players who are kind of interested, I think it just keeps the WNBA on their toes and it makes them come to this understanding like, yeah, the players do actually have some power in this scenario.
Yeah, competition is good. NBA's got a monopoly, so they don't worry about a damn thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And by off topic, but have you seen A House of Dynamite?
I have not.
The only reason I bring it up because there's an Angel
Angel
Reese
Reese.
cameo. Yeah, so out of nowhere
Good for
too.
her, man. That's
It
really
was so
cool.
random.
I
I don't
mean, I
even
don't.
know. I wouldn't even recommend the movie to
Yeah,
you.
I was gonna say I don't know if that movie's cool enough necessarily to be that intriguing for young people, but
It
it's
almost
cool
had
for
me.
her.
I was so locked in, and then there's this, the main complaint is the ending. So
Yeah, I heard that they did not land very well. They didn't land the
no,
plane very well. Okay, let's end with a discussion of who we think. I'm gonna pull up the women's college basketball. I don't even know if is there a top 25 yet for women's college basketball?
I mean there's a ranking, like they do preseason rankings, and so there are, I'm sure UConn was one.
Okay, so predict who you think is going to be the number one team at the end of March Madness in this year for
At the end of
college
March
basketball.
Madness, you're asking me to predict who wins March Madness?
Yeah, who wins March Madness right now? Who would you put
I'm
your money on?
in South Carolina, which I made the mistake of
Oh,
going with last year.
interesting. So
I
you
think they
think
got a pretty deep roster. I mean, they always have a deep roster, but I kind of like their top to bottom more than, UConn. I can't even say more than UConn confidently. Like, I think Sarah Strong has the chance to be the best player out of anyone. And because I'm in between, and correct me, maybe there's another one, but it's UConn for me. It's either UConn, South Carolina, or UCLA.
Those are the
the
top
three
three
in my head.
Those are
Okay.
the top three in the AP, the preseason AP right now as we speak. Those are your top three teams. And then it goes Texas, LSU, Oklahoma, Duke, Tennessee, NC State, Maryland. That rounds out the top 10. And unfortunately, no Bay Area teams. Actually, no, Stanford got 3 votes. So they're hanging out with 3 votes.
Nice.
Okay. This feels too easy, but like, how can you go against UConn is my question.
My only argument is like they just lost Paige Beckers. Like, what? Isn't that just the most obvious argument, is that they lost Paige Beckers?
Yes, but they also had the best freshman in college basketball, who's now a sophomore, and who just looks like she's going to be, like, for the next 3 years, just get better and better. And you know who interests me though? The USC, the young freshman, her
Jazzy
name is
Davidson.
yeah. And so the only reason I know who she is Shaquille O'Neal has a Netflix show about restarting Reebok. And part of the show is him recruiting athletes to become Reebok athletes. And so Reebok basketball, like when Shaq was playing, he signed with Reebok instead of Nike, like out of college, and people just thought like there's no way. And so he and then AI obviously signed with Reebok as well. But then Reebok stopped doing basketball. And so they brought Shaq back, and he is the VP of X, Y, and Z of Reebok basketball or whatever. And so part of his thing is like he's got to go recruit and pitch on these NIL deals to these young athletes to be a part of the Reebok family. And one of those was to Jazzy. And so I watched that segment, and it was one of those where you're like, okay, she's not picking Reebok. Like, there's no way. And it was very quick. She's like, oh, she went to Nike. But I was like, oh, she's really interesting. Like, she looks like she's got like the personality to actually be like a star athlete, because some of it is like on the court, but then there's also that other piece off the court. And I was impressed, as you can be impressed by an 18-year-old kid, but she seems like she's kind of on that rise to becoming one of those players too. And she has free reign because there's no Juju this year, so she may be able to open up some eyes. So not to say that USC is gonna, do. I'm picking UConn, but
oh my God, you were actually thinking about picking USC?
No. I'm saying she's gonna be the one that I kind of keep my eye on from the freshman perspective, and then there's the
Well, you kind of have to keep your eye on Aaliyah Chavez because
that's the other one because is that Oklahoma?
Oklahoma. My reasoning is because there's never, and I'm 99% sure because I know I looked this up in the past. Like 2 years ago, I was following her career because there are barely any Mexican hoopers. Like I got to make sure that I show love to the Mexican hoopers, and she was number one for like the past 2 years. And literally at the final stretch, the last 100 meters, they give it to Jazzy instead of Aaliyah. She had it the whole time, and I don't. Some people were saying it's politics. Like I don't even know what it is, but I'm following Aaliyah Chavez. She's not afraid to shoot that ball. She's kind of got the like deep three type of. There's like some Caitlin in her game. She's just pulling that thing, but yeah, she shot a lot of shots in that first game with Oklahoma.
I find the social media stuff so interesting. She's only got 16,000 Twitter followers.
Twitter, you'll never find a high Twitter follower count for most of these. For most celebrities, I feel like Instagram is kind of the celebrity hot pot.
84,000 on Instagram.
Yeah, checks out.
That's where you're.
I mean, even NBA prospects. I know when I was kind of doing like scouting and stuff, I'd go on their Twitter pages to like say like, "Hey, would you be down to be on this podcast?" And it's like you feel like you have a chance because they have like 2,000 followers because they never tweet, and it's like you're the number 5 prospect. Like, shouldn't you have like 20,000? But yeah, Twitter's I feel like some don't, some do, some don't.
Okay, so we'll be
Who'd
back.
you choose?
UConn.
Oh, okay.